Yes, 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 yes. Welcome to the No Cut Podcast, also known as the greatest podcast in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Kuba and I'm back to host another episode of The Great Show. Brothers and sisters, I've recently been listening to a very, very interesting audiobook, right? The 48 Laws of Power. And there is 3 laws in that book that I found very, very profound and interesting. 3 of them. And I've highlighted them and I've got some notes on my phone, right? And I wanted to talk to you about these laws, tell you what I think about it, why I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned, and also speak to my right-hand man, my producer there, and see what he thinks about these laws, whether he has seen them being applied or whether he's applied them in his life and he's seen whether it to be true or not, right?
Right.
So the first law that I found very interesting, right, was law number 5.
But hold on. Talk about that book a little bit more. So it's book about power.
It's a book by Robert Greene, right?
Right.
He's a very, very great author, right? He's also written books like The Laws of Human Nature, right? Seduction. He wrote the book of Curtis Jackson, 50 Cent, The 50th Law, right?
Oh, okay.
He wrote a book with him, and he did the 48 Laws of Power, and then he followed Curtis, he followed 50 Cent for a few years, just to see what he's like in real life, etc., how he moves in the business world, in the rap world.
So is the author some kind of psychologist, or...
Pardon?
Is he like a psychologist?
Yeah. He's very into his history, right? So he studies history very, very, closely, and he studies powerful people, right? And what to expect from people, and how people, this book in particular, the 48 Laws of Power, how people have gained power, right? And there's different sorts of power, right? Power over a country, financial power, physical power, all sorts of power, right? How people get power, keep power, lose power, how there's in this book he mentions 48 different laws and with numerous examples of each law, how it works, why it works, and the book's incredible, brother. I'll be real with you, and this is because I write a lot of notes, right, about each law, what I learned and stuff like that. But not all of them are something that I want to talk about. Some of them are, do you know what I mean? Some of them are a bit too, do you know what I mean? There's 48 laws, right? I picked out the 3 that I find very interesting and I want to share with the people.
Let's go.
And in the introduction, this is what it says, right? It says, your life is all about gaining more power. The game of power is inescapable. This is what they says. The game of power is inescapable.
Interesting.
From the day you're born.
Interesting.
You can't escape it.
Mm.
It requires a certain way of looking at the world as well as years of practice. Right? The better you are at dealing with power and excel at it, the better friend, husband, and person you become. Everyone is playing the game of power. If you are losing power, someone is gaining it. And vice versa. So if you're gaining power, someone else is losing it. It's a transferal. You can't just gain it out of nowhere.
Right.
It's a transferal of energy. You get me? As you're gaining power, someone else must be losing it. It's a very, very interesting book. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be transferred.
Okay.
The power has to be transferred from, do you know what I mean, from a father to a son, or from a wife to a husband. Do you know what I mean? There's power and people want power over other people. That's how you're wired, isn't it? You're wired to want to, subconsciously, you want to feel powerful. You want to feel like you have control, right? You don't want to feel like people have control over you and you have no power. That wouldn't make you feel good. You get me? Anyone can just control you and manipulate you, right? That's something we all don't want, right?
Yeah, right.
100%. So yeah, moving on, right? Just quick points as well from the start of the book. Here's a few things that I found interesting. It says, the further you see, the more prepared you are and more power you hold. So he's talking about in the future. The further you see and predict, right? You don't want to be just looking at the week ahead. Week, month, year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. Look ahead. Not only at your moves, other people's moves. Your competitors. Right. What are they doing? Right? The further you see, the more you can predict what's going to happen. Prepare yourself, and now you're gaining power because you're predicting, because you're aware, right? If you're not aware, you lose your power. Another thing, first instinct is to trust appearances. Your first instinct, as you see someone, first impressions, you're trusting their appearances. That's how the world is.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts.
You see someone, they're wearing a suit, they're nicely dressed, presentable. You look at them, just appearances, instantly you respect them, right? But just because the first appearances, it's how else are you going to judge someone you have never spoke to?
Yeah.
You have to look at them, and all of a sudden you look wherever they've got clean clothes, whether they smell good, whether they're well groomed. Instantly you already have an opinion of them inside. Not like cognitively, but subconsciously. Yeah. You're thinking, okay, he maybe makes a lot of money. Maybe he's someone powerful. I don't want to say the wrong thing to him. You get me?
He looks like a boss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he looks like a boss. He probably knows people. I'm gonna not you know what I mean, get in an altercation with him. You get me? As opposed to the other guy who's 18, he looks like a chav, right? And he's walking around. I mean, and you can tell that he hasn't got his stuff together. You all of a sudden think, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't really care about. He hasn't got much going on. I don't respect him. I don't have to. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You trust the appearance, right? And you judge it and you remember it. Yeah. The first time you see someone. No, so those are some things that I found interesting just at the introduction of the book as I listened to it. But the first law that I wanted to talk about was law number 5.
Okay.
And the law goes like this. So much depends on reputation. That was the title. So much depends on reputation. That's law number 5. Here's some notes that I made. Your reputation protects you from what you are really like.
Wow.
Your reputation protects you from what you are really like. You understand? Wow. So what other people think about you, the reputation that you've created, because you create your reputation. No one creates it for you, right? You create it. You can think, okay, I want to have a reputation for being, do you know what I mean? Let's say trustworthy, honest, loyal, right? And I don't want anyone to fuck with me. I want that reputation. Right. So you do everything to get that reputation, right?
It's like, I just want to pause you there. The saying, never meet your heroes. Have you ever heard that one?
Yeah, I've heard that one.
It makes sense now, because usually how it goes is the reputation of your hero is what you admire. When you meet your hero, he turns out to be an asshole. You're like, the whole curtain's gone.
Wow, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's only the beginning.
That's the first note I made from law number 5. And bro, every single chapter from the 48, it teaches you something crazy. It's the most powerful book I've read and only right. It's called The 48 Laws of Power. And every single law is opening my eyes like, what the hell? And I think, how has this power been used against me before? How is someone's reputation, how I've had their reputation in my head because I've seen how they move, and now it's affected me, and now somehow it's affected me. I've, for example, purchased something from them because I knew they had a reputation. I gave them money. Or I didn't trust them because I heard something about them. You get me? So your reputation is that you think about it. Yeah, that's true. Because I heard one thing about this guy, didn't want to deal with him. Didn't trust him, didn't want to...
That's facts.
Yeah. Reputation, very important. What other people think of you, generally. Reputation can double your strength or send people to scurry away from you. So if you have a good reputation, someone who is very reliable, always on time, trustworthy, it can double your strength. Now, more people want to give you opportunities.
That's right.
Yeah. However, if you've got a bad reputation, people run away from you. They don't want to deal with you because you're bad. You're gonna cause problems.
But that applies to everywhere.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Marketing, brands. Do you know what I mean? If a brand is not sustainable,
for real,
immediately nobody wants that, and the prices go down, and then you buy them at Sports Direct.
Exactly.
But then certain brands you have to travel.
Yeah.
Do you know? Yeah. Okay.
So
interesting stuff.
So reputation can double your strength or send people to scurry away from you, and it's definitely true. And I found in my life, innit, if something ever occurred in my life that caused other people to think of a certain way, now if I go to that group of friends again after the incident happens, I can feel a different energy now, because now they've got an opinion of me. Now if they've lost trust for me because something happened, now they don't want to associate with me really, and it's not genuine anymore. You know what I mean? Because the authenticity of the interaction has now been altered by this reputation in the air.
Yeah,
it surrounds me. I'm there as a person, but my reputation's above me, and it fills the room, however it is. If I had a reputation that I get really angry and I start shouting at people and I start, do you know what I mean, I'm very physical and aggressive, people would be more on edge when I come into the room. You get me?
Yeah.
Because if, do you know what I mean, if something happens, he's gonna fucking shout and scream, and do you know what I mean, he might get physical because that's what he's like. But if I have a reputation of I'm friendly with everyone, everyone's going to be warm and inviting. Oh, how you doing, brother? You okay? Do you know what I mean? They don't mind joking around with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're like, do you know what I mean? He doesn't take himself too seriously. But this guy takes it super seriously. Now it's a different reputation. Anyway, moving on. Here's an interesting one. It said, solid reputation increases your presence and exaggerates your strengths, creates an aura that instills respect and fear.
Whoa.
A solid reputation, right?
Jeez.
A solid reputation increases your presence and exaggerates your strength. So not only because you've got good reputations, now you've got more of a presence, your strengths are now increased. Before they were just normal strengths. Now because you also got a reputation for those strengths, now they're even better than they actually are. Because your reputation is, because you've created that reputation like that.
Yeah.
And the key thing to underline here in this chapter is that you control your reputation fully. You control what you put out there for people to see. No one controls that. I can go completely blank off social media, or I can create a reputation for whatever I want. Maybe I want to upload gym stuff every day so people think I go gym. Maybe I want to spend money so people think I've got money, right? Or however you want to create it, you can create it however you want. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing, this is for when somebody else has got a lot of reputation, like a good reputation. It's a send for someone's reputation is a powerful weapon, especially when you have less power than the opponent. He has much more to lose, and you give him a small target to hit back. So if there's a guy who's got a very big reputation, right? Very big. A reputation, he's a very known person. To attack his reputation and say, look, you're a fraud. You say you're all this, but you're a fraud, is a very powerful weapon, right? Especially if he's doing better than you, because he has so much to lose, right? He's built his reputation up here, and you can just tear him down from the bottom, and he can't even hit you back because you're a small target. So aiming back at you wouldn't make sense to him, because why would it concern him? But he has a lot to lose, and he can't even fight back because you're irrelevant to him. But also, if you affect his reputation, he takes a huge hit. Now his income's gone down. Now his followers are running away because you revealed this one thing about him. So it's it could be, Do you know what I mean? That's why you see certain rappers or YouTubers sending for bigger ones. You get me?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, sending for the bigger ones because they're like, he's got a lot to lose, and it like if I do affect something, I've caused the, do you know what I mean, chaos, and he can't do much damage to me because I don't have a huge following anyway.
Right.
So that's an interesting thing. What do you think about reputation, bro? Do you think it's something that, do you know what I mean, that people focus on, or do you think people don't really care what their reputation is?
I would say even if people say they don't care about reputation, they do. Because as human beings, I think like we are programmed to care what people, how people see us, what people say about us. Because if we didn't, there would never be any internet beef between anyone.
Yeah, that's true.
Because let's say I make a tweet right now saying, "Oh, Kuba is looking, I don't know, extra small in that T-shirt he's wearing," right?
Yeah.
If it doesn't bother you, then you just ignore it, right? But then as soon as you reply, and you say, "Oh, I don't care how I look," you're contradicting yourself in my eyes. But reputation is, to me personally, is something that you gain by doing something. So let's say you're a surgeon.
Okay.
You're gonna gain a good reputation by performing good surgeries, right?
Facts.
By saving people, by doing impossible, or like literally, you know, performing miracles on people. Doing undoable, what was considered undoable so many years ago, right? Or let's say you're a tradesman.
Yeah.
Every time you get a job, you make sure everything is level, everything is crispy, everything is nice. You also, I don't know, maybe you're good with bargaining prices. Do you know what I'm saying? So you leave a good impression, like you said, and that's what reputation is to me. It's based on something that you do, that you perform.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and you can, and you have full control over it, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, you do,
because you decide whether you want to make it really good quality work.
Oh yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, if you want to half-ass it, then you'll half-ass it, get the quick money and go.
And how do you, let's say somebody says, "Look, I'm not happy with the work." How do you react to them saying that? Do you say, "No, you got to pay me more now to correct it"? Or do you say, "I'm so sorry.
Exactly.
I'm so sorry the quality is inadequate. I'm going to correct it all.
Yes.
Leave it in my hands."
Yes, that's what you do.
That's reputation right there.
That's what you do.
And people don't think about that. But all it takes is one bad egg to spoil all the rest of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
One bad feedback and now nobody trusts you.
Yeah.
You know
that's correct. That's facts. But I agree. Because the thing is, right, you can be a hothead all you want, right? But that's only going to give you that reputation of somebody who can't be told anything about himself, about stuff he does.
Yeah.
So immediately, not only you lose, let's say, potential customers, as you said, or you lose business, you also lose your loved ones. You're losing your close ones. You losing the ones that were there before probably anything. And you're losing them because you're a shit human being. That's what I think.
And as you said not having control over yourself, right? A note that I wrote here is, "No control over emotion and anger. It clouds your vision and makes you powerless."
Yes, I agree to that.
So you think, I'm this big guy. I'm angry. I can just shout at people and I've got all the power. In your head, I'm so powerful. You get me? People are scared of me. But really, because the anger's clouding your vision, you can't think straight. Now you're actually powerless.
Yeah.
The people that are just watching you thinking, "He's an idiot." They're much more powerful than you because they can just say one thing and you don't have control over yourself.
You're reacting.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, good example of what you just said there. Let's say, I don't know, you got a boss, right? And every boss is stressed out when his business is not going well, right? But if he takes it out on his employees in front of everyone, right? Everybody just thinks like he's a twat. Like, okay,
not taking responsibility.
I'll still work here because I need the money, but like, fuck the boss.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then it only takes I don't even want to say a bigger man. All it takes is somebody who literally has a reputation of somebody you shouldn't be fucking with. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because you can get a random person that you might not even suspect, but you should not fuck with him on that level. You should not shout at him for whatever reason, because that guy will kill you. Like he'll slap your top off, bruv. And then you get that. And I think that's what usually happens to those people. Like, do you know what I'm saying? If you don't have reins on your own character, your character is going to lead you to some very painful experiences, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Because words don't hurt me, but a hit in the face would. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
So that's what I think. Like, people don't really consider that part of reputation. Because people say, oh, I only flipped out when somebody angers me or pisses me off. But then you ask somebody, like, oh, what pisses you off? And they'll say, like, everything. Well, if everything is pissing you off, maybe you need anger management.
Yeah, maybe.
Control yourself. Bro.
Yeah, maybe you need to work on yourself in some way, innit? Something deeper, usually. It's something deeper that's still affecting them from childhood, maybe. I mean, childhood stuff, it's affecting them, and they're just...
But that's what I think. People mistake, in my opinion, people mistake power with fear. Because to me, having power, it has nothing to do with being feared. You can be the softest person on the planet, like Mother Teresa. How much power did Mother Teresa have? Know what I'm saying? Like, her and the head of Catholic Church, the Pope, were like tight. They were like homies. Do you know how much power Pope has?
A lot of power. Still.
Well, I don't want to say nothing controversial, but let's just say they can cover up a lot of things very quickly.
For real.
And instead of sacking you from the job you were sent by God to do, they'll just relocate. That's all I'm saying.
That's all he's saying. That's all he's saying in the matter. And that's very true. That's very true, brother.
But what do you think? Do you think people mistake power with being feared?
I think... Yeah, well, this is the thing, brother. Do people mistake power and being feared? I think there's some people that crave power because maybe they never felt respected right before. So they crave it because they want everyone to respect them and fear them, right? And other people crave power for other reasons. Maybe they crave power just because they want to have freedom to do whatever they want and help their family and friends out. You get me?
Right.
There's different sources of it. You get me? And people want it for different reasons. And I mean, there's right reasons, there's wrong reasons, but also who am I to say that someone's reason's wrong, innit? In their head, it makes perfect sense.
Right.
I want power. I want everyone to be afraid of me, right? Let's say I'm a big MMA champion, right? He's probably, but at the same, a real MMA champion, he's very humble. He says, I could kill you in the cage in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I don't need to prove that. You, just by me being the MMA champion, you already know that, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't have to fear me, right? If you hit me, I will, I mean, fuck you up. But if you're nice to me, I'm going to respect you back.
Yeah, that's
you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing.
But yeah, but there is people that can't control that side of them, right? And they just, they have to show everyone that they're the man. Instead of...
But that's a scared person.
No, exactly that. Exactly that.
They want to be feared so badly, but they're the most scared.
Yeah. I had... there was one interaction, right? I had in Nottingham one time. I was at my girlfriend's house, right? This was... It was probably like 18 months ago, right? And I was at my girlfriend's house staying over for the night. Yeah? Nottingham. And... middle of the night, like 2 a.m. Listen, this is what happened. 2 a.m. Ben, right? There's a guy called Ben. He lives downstairs, and he texts my girlfriend. Says there's a girl called Ella, because this is like a student house. He says Ella's boyfriend's screaming and shouting at her. I think he's like throwing stuff around her room, innit? Can Kuba come down? Because I don't know what he's on, innit? Like, is he like he's causing a scene, innit? Can Kuba come down here, innit? Because Ben's like, what am I going to do? He's just some skinny guy, innit? So I go down there, yeah, and I knock on the door. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Yeah, why are you screaming, shouting?